just raise the hand and tell me that we are on, then we start. When you're on, let me just raise your hand. Put it on YouTube. We are putting you on YouTube, so 1 second.
And Facebook Live, I see Facebook Live here.
Yep. Yeah, you saw the
Okay,
thing? Yep, almost there. That's fine.
okay.
Okay,
Can I
next
have
we
the
have
background like him or different background?
different. Don't worry about the background now. We'll get it there. Don't worry. Uh,
Because I don't want those books to show up yet until next time.
don't worry. 1 second, we are doing a few final touches, and then actually we'll be ready there for you.
Hmm.
Junior on the other end, let me know when you're ready there.
Me, whenever you're ready, I'm ready to roll.
That is perfect. We are just getting the link from the YouTube. Ready? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Omweri Kebwato from the studios down in Minneapolis. And my brother, Mr. Jeremiah, or Dr. Jeremiah from Brooklyn Park, is going to take over this broad discussion about wealth management or wealth creation in the diaspora, especially for the immigrants. So, Dr. Jeremiah, back to you in Brooklyn Park. Take over. Thank you very much. And viewers, welcome.
Yeah, hello, viewers, wherever you might be tuning in from, watching or listening from across the country and around the world. Welcome to KDR TV Live tonight from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we're continuing another conversation around factors that are affecting the immigrant community. A series that we began 2 weeks ago, talking about mental health, talking about race and racism across the country. And today we're moving further to another very interesting conversation. This would revolve around financial matters and how the world is changing, not just because of the COVID-19, but the truth is, financially, the world is changing, and therefore we need to address some of these issues that affect our people. So tonight, we are very privileged to have on set today some of the very best members of been in the industry for quite a long time, and we're very willing to share tonight. They do work for major financial institutions here in the cities, but their contribution today will reflect their own views in matters of wealth creation, and they do not by any means reflect the organization for which we work. So delighted to have with us today. On top of the screen, as you can see, we have Kim Nguyen. Kim Nguyen is from Vietnam. So she has a very inspiring story, coming to the United States and doing all that she can to build not wealth, not just for herself and the family, but also trying to build wealth too. So quick background about Kim. She has a graduate degree from that is a business administration degree. Equally, she's been in the business industry. She has owned her own business, which really deals with the nails. Therefore, the lady is really that somebody to get to if you want to start business, and not just up, but she's really got some good experience there. As well, she's a senior marketing director with WFG, and as I said in the intro, she will just be sharing her own views, not the views of the organization where she works for. Equally, she is a die-hard financial educator, so she's made this a centerpiece of her life to do as best as she can to educate the public for that matter. So, welcome, Kim. Stephen Balotelli, my good friend from Nigeria. So, Steve comes in from Nigeria. He has a wealth of experience. He's a senior marketing director past 5+ years trying to educate people about matters of finance. In addition to that, Steve joins us and brings a wealth of experience in this conversation. He graduated from in chemistry from a university in Nigeria. From Nigeria, he also went to Germany, where he acquired a degree in pharmacy and spent 10 years also teaching in different institutions. So really, it does bring a very good experience. But more importantly, also for Stephen, he's a very calm person. He's a Christian leader. Him and his wife, Dr. Briera, have also made a commitment to not only help spiritually, but also importantly, financially. Welcome, Steve. Also, we have with us our sister, Catherine Ediang. Catherine also comes from Cameroon, Central Africa. With her, she brings a wealth of experience. She's also a senior associate with WSG, and she's also made this a centerpiece of the campaign. But more importantly, I think all conversations, as you will see in the discussion today, she's really worked very hard making sure that she educates our people on how to spend their finances. On the side also, she has a master's degree in teaching English. So she's really a good linguist. We're not very good, but she's very good at that. But also she's made this a centerpiece of our life. She's traveled the world, that experience here today. So panelists, welcome to KDL TV. I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy the conversation here as we begin the conversation. And I'm going to start with you, Kim. You have a very inspiring story in Vietnam and really making financial matters or wealth creation a centerpiece of your life. Let's start off. How has a lack of money shaped the way you think and act in this country?
Watching I think I'm we heard now, right? Good. Good evening again. My name is Kim Nguyen. Yes, I'm one of the immigrants from Southeast Asia. Vietnam is a country. And it's my honor to sharing with you my story as a person who came here as a young immigrant since 1991. And welcome everybody from different part of tonight. You are welcome. And the question was about lack of money shape the way we think in this country as an immigrant, right? My family, just a little bit background by myself. Yes, I'm from Vietnam, and we settled in Minneapolis. Actually, Moorhead, a small town in Minnesota, since 1991. And I came here teenage, and I had a chance to actually enter high school right away and finish high school and went to college. And background back home, our family, we not from a very wealthy background, we're financially highly educated or anything, just a normal family. And my mom is single mom, so brought us here. And thanks to the opportunity here, I was able to finish school and move on. At first, we're just gonna find a job and want to be a manager of some kind of, at the same time, because of the background grew enough, I know that we need to really work hard. Money, I always make sure that in my mind, I make sure that when I graduate, I grow up, I have to be able to always have a chance to make money. And in this country, there's a saying, have a good grades and graduate with a good degree and find a good job, and our life will be settled. But actually, reality, it was not like that. I graduate and, not be able to find a job in my area. But work hard and save money is always something that in my mind, because I know that this country gives us an opportunity to really for education, for job opportunity. Then we got to really work hard to support ourselves and our family.
Here now, I think we will agree with Kim that most of the immigrants we come for education and many other factors, but it's very important to recognize that without money, we may not achieve the American dream. What is your perspective in that regard?
True in effect, because number one, we talked about first you have to be able to make money and earn an income. But American dream is the family. How you define American dream is that big house, big car, fancy vacation, luxury materials or anything, or is this what is a dream that definitely
like the first speaker, my experience isn't very different. Coming here, I had a teaching degree back home. I was already earning some income, and I was already starting to build my family. But upon arriving here, I started at a very low position just for survival. And I quickly realized that though I was working extra hard, the money I was making was less and less able to satisfy my personal demands and my family needs. So right away, it became clear that lack of money was a big challenge that my family and I had to tackle and sought ways to deal with it. Eventually, I thought to myself, like the first speaker said, I thought going back to school was the way out in order to curb that challenge of lack of money. So I went back to school in this country, got a master's degree to teach languages, as you rightly mentioned at the beginning in your introduction. But again, the true reality is that even with the degree, I still wasn't able to make ends meet. More so because I graduated right after the recession in 2008, and the job market was very challenged and very limited for most people, especially for immigrants like us. So yes, lack of money has a tremendous impact on our families here, on building our families here and building wealth. And what this does is that it creates a big problem that I believe must be tackled by every family in order to strive in this, as at the same time as they chase the American dream. Because it is so easy for our brothers and sisters to get here and get caught up in chasing more and more money, and in the process of doing that, lose their identity and lose the very basic essentials of what life entails. I've seen over and over families just neglect their parents, neglect their, not, maybe the word neglect is very tough, but I've seen adults being disconnected from their families because they have to chase multiple jobs in a day. I've seen children left alone without supervision. I've seen children who lack that parental touch in growing up because, you know, parents are challenged with having to keep up with the demands of the big lifestyle here in America. They become isolated, they keep away from their cultural circles, the places where they can find that strength and support to maintain their identities. So I see that our people, especially these days, have become slaves to money, and more money. And as they say, as Dave Ramsey says, you got to gain control of your money. Otherwise, your money will end up controlling you. Lack of it will end up controlling you forever. So it's very important that our people realize that, yes, we need to go after money, but building wealth does not mean sacrificing our families, because what it makes us, we become enemies to each other. I don't think we intend to do that. We become enemies to each other. We fight each other. We fight the people that we're supposed to love. So I believe lack of money needs to be a discussion on the table. Thank you, Dr. Okari.
Oh, thank you. Steve, you want to jump in there? Your perspectives. Steve, unmute yourself.
All right, thank you. Sorry for that. All right, so I was saying that, thank you very much, Dr. Okari, for this opportunity, and welcome to our viewers, and thank you for all the nice contributions the last two speakers have brought to the table. Now, when it comes to our thinking about money and how that has affected us personally, I want to just say a little bit about my background. Like the first speaker said, I didn't come from a very wealthy background, but somehow, I came from an environment that was creating wealth for a community that did not recognize that. We will not be able to go into all those because I come from the southern part of Nigeria. But the thing was, coming in here, like like we were told from the beginning, I came in actually not directly from Africa. I was in Europe And while in Europe, even though I was a student, I had quite some money because of the environment I was in. And I had reasonable scholarship because I was there as initially invited as a guest scientist, went into studying chemistry, and I had some money. So coming here, we went into a completely different environment. First of all, the mentality was as if America was like heaven. And the impression was as if there's so much money all over the place. So just coming in with that, it puts some pressure. But then you come in and you see that it is a country that has a lot of bills, a country that, you find out that with the creation of things happening, you see that there's a lot of cracks, debts. People want to keep up and they'll get into debts and debts and debts. So, how does that affect us? People back home, people that know you, people that relate to you, they expect that you have come into a community where money is falling from trees. And everybody expects a part of it. And so, in a way, too, you want to help. You want to do this, you want to do that. And then coming in, another thing is you find out that the American society or the American system does not immediately recognize who you are or what your worth is. So you come back on a plain field. Like I sometimes say, it's like you do BA. BA in this case, not Bachelor of Arts, but begin again. Come from one country. I've been in 3 continents. In Africa, you get out from there, you get into Europe, you begin again, a BA. Then you come into America, you begin again. How does that affect you? You get into, I came in here, got into working. I didn't directly work, up there. And then there was a way this affected us. Sometimes because my wife will be working, sometimes we're like, okay, one person is going, one person is coming. You just want to make sure that everything is taken care of. This puts enormous pressure on people. When the money is not there, not that, no, when the money is not there in the amount it's supposed to be, and you want to meet up and people they have expectations and so on. In that case, you're driven into doing a lot, you want to work hard, you want to do this, and it puts strain on the family because we are just coming in, first of all, with the mentality of civil servants or something like that. Business was not part of it. Ways of raising wealth was not part of it. So it affected us in that way. But with understanding gradually, getting to know that wealth building can be done in some other way, knowing that you can actually build wealth and help and promote wealth, that now changes the game. So that's the thing. So that's how that has affected us. And yeah.
Okay, very good. So, very good background from the 3 of you. I think the key point here, again, to your viewers, just a good understanding that what we're trying to do here is to lay a foundation for future discussions. We're going to get into the specifics of how we need to manage finances. But today is just starting a conversation around, and that's why we're trying to see our personal experiences. But again, we're looking at if you are born in this country in a capitalistic society, obviously you begin by being told what you need to do with your finances. Reality is that is not exactly what it is in the backgrounds where we came from. Quite frankly, a larger population of the immigrant population came from a world where there was a complete lack of money. And I think that idea of handling money really begins for some, not all, for some in this country. And the manner in which we use this money also begins here. And that's where sometimes we all run into the problems of doing this. So just a quick background so that we are on the same page, to realize that as immigrants, it doesn't matter where you're from around the world. It's pretty much we have the same background before we move further. And Akim, I'm going to bring you here so that you give us a quick background. Culturally speaking, you as an immigrant from Vietnam, and again, you're not speaking on behalf of the entire population of Southeast Asia. what is the background? Are you taught on how to use finances, and what have you seen different when you interact with many of your clients?
Well, honestly, like I mentioned earlier, I was not from any like a pretty wealthy background or anything, and my mom was single mom. So what she did was just work and put food at the table to raise, try to raise 4 children. So understand about finance was not something that was taught when we were little, even until I grew up. And even when I was in high school, was in college, it was not something was even discussed either. So, but in the back of my mind, I watched how my mom grew up, raised a family as a single parent. My sister went to the workforce when she was very little, so it's kind of break my heart. And I know that I have to really play a role in the family in terms of not become a burden when it comes to money, but actually become a person who bring resource and bring some benefit to the family. So even as a young age, I already start working at the age of second year right away after we came to the U.S. I remember was June of 1991, and next year I start working already. And back then, even I was not as a teenage. I don't have a car, don't drive yet, but it take the bike. I still bike to work as a daycare, and I make $4.25 an hour because I need to. I want to make sure I contribute to the family. Instead of, like I said, become a burden to the family. So every single summer between school, from day one, I already start working and know that I need to make money. It was not something that's like brought up in the family or anything, but it just, I guess, because of watching how my family growing up and how my family went through struggle money. So I told myself that I make sure I will not put myself in that situation or put anybody in that situation, just like to, financially struggle. So I hope that answered the question.
It does. It does. Thank you, Kim. And I know you'll be contributing a lot in more specific terms going forward. Catherine, I'm going to bring you in. Catherine, we're growing up in Africa, and I think you share my background. I was told the best you can do is just go to school. And then coming to America, I knew right behind my mind, every single dollar I made was not necessarily meant for me. It was meant for me and my extended family back home. And so I spent a long time working to build my family and the extended family, which, yes, worked well, and actually it didn't work. And I think this experience that most immigrants from Africa really do experience. Is this your experience, or is it slightly different?
Not at all, Dr. Okari. And that is why I want to say again that I truly appreciate this discussion that you have opened here on tonight. My experience is the same as yours. Growing up, I never participated in any money talks. If you treated with money, it was just take this money, go to the market and buy food and bring it home. Go buy this and bring it. Nobody ever taught us, okay, this is what you should know about money. This is what you should learn about money. Growing up all the way to university, where I graduated with a master's in teaching back then in Cameroon, I knew nothing about finance. I just knew that when I had some change, I bought whatever goods I needed for my family, and that was it. And that is the background that I brought here in America, in this country. And I mentioned earlier, I was seriously challenged because back then what I made, though little, it fit the environment and the setting. Compared to here, when I came, the money was still very little. When I came here, I started, there's nothing to hide about it. I started at the nursing home, working as a nursing assistant, making $8 an hour. 8 months down the line, I was joined by my lovely husband and our first son. So those were three people now who had needs in our family. Beside those three immediate people, I had a very large extended family back home who depended on me and who was looking up to me to help them with their own needs. So you put that into perspective, $8 an hour with all the bills that we all face here in this great land of opportunity, you will understand, even if you don't know math, you will understand that there is no way out. It's a dead end. So I had to find other ways. I had to start thinking outside the box on how to, educate myself about money matters in order to get a, head here in this country. I started learning that it would take more than working in a nursing home, to build wealth or even to just take care of my immediate family's needs. So I had to get outside the box. And I am glad for the journey. I have journeyed, learning how money works in this country, learning how to build wealth. It's an ongoing process, but the hardest thing is to take the first step into that process. Once you take the step into learning to understand it, then you will see that there is hope. There is hope for you, your immediate family here, and there is hope also for the people who depend on you back then in our countries of origin. So I really appreciate this discussion, and I want to say, those who are listening tonight, there is hope, and it begins with learning to understand. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Catherine, and thanks, Kim. So, before we move on, I want to bring in Steve. Steve, part of the African culture, and I think those who are watching will agree on this. One of the leading African poets, Okot Pitek from Uganda, once said, "Society is like a market stall where the title matters more than the title." You have wealth of experience, particularly with the education. I think a lot of schooling, you and your family, just like I, and many African immigrants who come here work hard to have titles, whether it's a doctor, professor, and the likes. Yes, that is respectable in that background, but it's not necessarily, does not necessarily mean money. And I think that also causes frustration for most who aspire for titles. Your perspectives.
Thank you very much. I think that is very, very, I hope you're hearing me. Okay. That's very, very important because, and I want to also bring us back to what our kind of, the mentality of our people, when it comes to that. It's like everybody thinks that education, school and degree is equal to money. Sometimes it is not exactly so. And one thing that I find also that there is a delusion about that, in the sense that from the society we come from, it affects people back there. And if we are not careful, we carry that mentality here too, in the sense that normally here, people dignify labor. People dignify anything that they can do to be able to raise money, build money, and help themselves with money. So that if it means going into something technical, people are able to do that. In this country, even if it means sweeping or doing something like that, and you are good at it, you're able to make money. Versus the idea of wanting to sit on a big chair, carry a big title, having no money and having nothing. So that is a mentality that needs to be worked on. Like Catherine mentioned, growing up in my own society, we'll go to school, you can go to the university. From secondary school, you're dependent on your parents. My uncle will help me, my aunt will help me. You get into university, every semester, you go back home asking for money to go to the next semester or to the next year. There was not that culture that right from the beginning, you can work hard and make money And this idea of making money, getting money by your own work was not really emphasized. It was a matter of my big uncle there will give me, my other auntie will give me, or something like that. And that's one mentality we need to change. Because even though, why I want to say this is that even our people who come back here, they may condemn what's going on at home, but they still do the same thing. You don't allow, you don't value the idea of actually working to create wealth for yourself. And they also, that idea needs to be done. That culture needs to be worked on. That there is dignity in working to get money for yourself. It is not just one big title or sit behind one big chair and there is no money. And then because you have a big title and then you maybe a doctorate degree or something else and you're working in a place where you're not even making any money, and then everybody is looking at the title and everybody wants that big title to give big money, and you cannot make it. It causes people to even get depressed, and they become agitated, and then pride will not even let them say it out. These are things that I think our African community and our people should look into. What does it mean? Simply calm down. And if you don't know, ask. What are the ways people do? How are people making money? How are people able to raise up things for themselves? We see people here because somebody, you want to show off. You see somebody bought a Toyota today. You want to buy a Cadillac. You want to buy another big one. And some people end up, you buy one big car, the tire is spoiled. You can't even change the tire. Just you want to impress people. These things need to change. That people need to understand that you can build wealth, but it needs you getting to understand that it needs you humbling to learn. Some people don't want to learn because they think, what am I going to learn from this person? I have this, and I have that. They don't want to learn. They don't want to listen. And one of the things that frustrate me is that because of this mentality of not humbling themselves, people assume what they know. They assume they know so much. I make jokes sometimes. I say some people from my community, from our people, that they may be able to say if they have just one or two computers in the house, they may want to tell Bill Gates not to talk about computer because they do computer. So because of not wanting to learn. So that's what I'm saying. Let's calm down. Let's learn. Let's find out why people are able to build wealth here. And it is not just title, it is knowing the fundamentals of building wealth. It is doable. You can learn it. So that's where I want to stop.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Again, we're not by any means negating somebody having a title. You want to have a doctorate, be called doctor, professor, that's perfectly fine. But the key point, what we're saying is that it's important that you also be knowledgeable of how you acquire and manage your finances. So I'm going to come back to you, Kim. For the days I've met you and got to know you, stopped by your office, one thing that really, really appreciate, and I'm sure those who work with you will agree, you are a very people person. In addition to making money, it's not just about money, but you have a good connection with human beings, regardless of their background. I've seen you go lunch with Africans, white, African American, Asians. Could you very kindly share with our viewers one inspirational story of all your clients you have met? What is one inspiring story that you want to share with our viewers?
Wow. Well, thank you, Dr. O'Carey. And getting back to me with this question, thank you for the compliments. Yes, now I just realized that I'm really a Buba person based on what you said. Well, the reason is also because of my background, like I said. I'm just a normal person, immigrants here. Then what everything I have is, from hardworking, build up from scratch and learn from everybody. So I learned to really connect with people and be able to bring resource or be also bring benefits to others. And there's one thing that I learned from one person just recently. One thing she said as make a pretty highlights for me is like, I want to make sure that I come across people, walk into the life, make an imprint into the heart, make an impact or make a difference for the factors of my existence. So of course, making money, save money, build wealth, take care of my family and so on. That's one thing. But of course, because of I'm exist in this world, what would I bring to other people, the benefit to community, to my, co-worker, to my friends or families that come across me. And, through the years of, getting into, and because of life, she was getting to the wrong direction, and she was basically just not having enough guidance and help. And because of me, I was around, I was actually able to help her build what she need and guide her through the step of the way. And not for any benefit, not because she's is working for me, not because of she was actually bring anything benefit to me, but just because of a human being. I saw that somebody need help and she looked up to me. So I was, without any hesitation, pull my heart out and help. And because of that, she actually changed her life from a wrong direction, getting to a better mother, a better person. And of course, she now leverage what she learned, contribute back to the community as well too. So I want to make sure that, again, I bring benefits. I'm a guidance to somebody if possible. If that person need me because of me, the person change his or her life, I don't mind. So that's why I appreciate for the fact that I am exist in this world and give a chance to get to grow up and get an education in this country. So contribute back to the community and to my fellow immigrants from different nationality.
So I want to bring in, thank you very much, Kim, and I'll tell you that I'm very inspired by what you do and continue to do so. Catherine, I'm going to bring you in. And I want to apologize. I did go to your Facebook page, and I apologize. I was not by any means stalking you for whatever reason. One thing that struck me is a social media platform, but what I saw you do, you've been posting nothing less financial literacy. That was very interesting to note. Do you have any story that you want to share with the audience that really has inspired you and has made you continue doing what you're doing?
Yes, thank you again, Dr. Okari. When I think of stories, there are so many, and I don't even know which one to pick. But I'll pick a little one that, to me, continues to touch me until today. In the course of my belief and my action in this financial literacy campaign, I came across one young person. This person, it's a healthy person, young in age, but when I interacted with that person and brought some services to them, it uncovered something that was going on that they were not even aware at a young age, something that could have impacted their life in a serious way, and they were not even aware. So yes, financial literacy has a lot of ramifications. It doesn't just end with you reading the materials or you reading books and writings about finances. It goes way deeper. The work that we do for our communities, it's deeper than what people assume out there. And I just really want to say that is the reason why we are very passionate about this financial campaign for everybody, all our communities, all immigrant communities, to really keep an open mind and engage in learning because the benefits you get from the campaign go way deeper to help your family than what you imagine. This one person has been thankful ever since. They've been thankful because of, what they were able to discover about themselves in the process of this financial literacy campaign. Their life was impacted in a better way than if we had not come across each other through this campaign. I don't know what would have happened, along the way. So I feel proud that, like Kim, like Mr. Bariture, people have the guts to go out there and challenge, other fellow community members to just be real. Everybody needs to get real and be open to learning. A lot of times we push people and they get mad at us, but it's because of what we have come to understand, the benefits that we have come to discover through this campaign. This campaign for financial literacy for all helps a lot of families, save families' lives, protect families, build legacy for even future generations. I
know you got a lot to share there, Catherine. Thank you. So
there's a certain type of story that really gets me emotional, and I'm really sorry, but I want to say that I take this I take financial education very seriously because of the lives that it impacts. Just a little bit ago, I lost a friend, and
it's okay. Hold your feelings in a moment, Catherine. As you get composed, I want to come back to you in a moment so that you can complete your thought as you get composed, and I know that story. So, Steve, I want to bring you here, not on the same respect, but quite frankly, when we look at it, and I'm a business professor, so when you're looking at business and we're talking about making money is just a byproduct of something, right? It's not the end of it. The key point is that you're making money because you want to do something. That in the absence of money, it does have effects on how we do, and as a result, it has caused some element of mental illness, which has really caused a lot of pain in our communities. And I think you've done a lot of this, not just from the church, not just from the community level, but you're also a mental health expert. In your view, does this affect how we exist, or from a perspective of mental wellness?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like you said, I have been all my life, growing up, the only thing that I knew was the church, and I was involved in, Christian leadership right from an early age. So I have an understanding of how the different parts, so to say, the whole being can be impacted. The spiritual aspect, the emotional aspect, physical aspect, and the financial aspect too, which is new. But like I said, the entire human, it is good that we look at the wholeness of the person. And when we talk about financial literacy, in the first place, I want to refer back to what I said earlier when we were talking, and you made a comment to that. We are not in any form discouraging people from getting into areas and careers and so on. I have spent more years in the university than probably outside. So I love education, and we have those degrees. But what we are simply saying is, we don't want to make those degrees block us from where we are supposed to be. We want to encourage people to aspire, get to their best, get to their highest, but we are also saying that you can do something also with that to build your wealth. Then coming back onto how this affects people, I also work in the mental health. I've been interested, I've been involved in mental health, and I see that what we do is, like Catherine was saying, we are not just about money. In the first place, one of the things that drive me in this campaign that we're in, I see, like Kim was talking, the passion to help. And sometimes it is difficult to convince people. It's like you see somebody. I'm not accusing people of being blind, but I am saying that what you don't know sometimes gives the impression of blindness in that area. It does not make you a foolish person, but in that particular area, it is, it could block things that you don't know. When you see a child going in with all full confidence towards a pit, and you want to hold that child and the child is fighting you, it will take courage for you, and of course with passion for life, for you to go ahead in spite of that resistance to pull the person out. So that is why sometimes in our campaign it looks like we are bothering people, because we see, first of all, the confusion that goes on when this is not there, when there is no money. We see when families lose their loved ones. We see how people come around and make contributions and all those things. Now I ask myself, you want to contribute to help a family? That's good. By the end of the day, you're contributing $10, $20, $50. You end up maybe big sum of $10,000 you give to a family. How long will $10,000 help them? Because they didn't have this education to build for themselves. How long will 10,000 help? Maybe it will help in doing the burial. After the burial, everybody goes. The family is left to suffer. And those are the things that bother us. Now, I have a story that, that kind of brings me to tears when it comes to, you're talking about mental health and things and how this affects people. In this particular case, it was not really a mental health thing, but there was this person that, we were talking to, and we wanted to help this person set up some things to help them with their finance. And it was like everything was okay. Everything was okay. I will do this, 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 this. This person was very sure that they had life on their path. But 1 year short of their 40th birthday, the person passed. Nothing was taking place. The family was thrown into confusion. And look at the impact this has in every aspect. And we've had cases of people who, because of lack of money and things, in Minneapolis here, we've had cases. We had at least a case from our community, a large community, African community, of somebody having to shoot the wife or kill somebody and kill himself. We've had cases like that around the country. And these things because of lack of money or because of insecurity. Because one person feels threatened, or because one person feels that, okay, I have a little bit and then this other person doesn't. And then we end up eliminating people. We put the children into jeopardy. They end up with trauma. They end up with mental sickness in mental homes. Sometimes they are taken away. No government is now going to take care of them. How will the government take care of somebody better than the parents? So this kind of situation, which lack of money can cause, they have a lot of impact on the psyche of the person. People get, into insecurity, maybe because they don't have money. Maybe they feel this other person, even when they have not said anything, they conclude that, oh, you are treating me like this because I don't have money. And that now leads to driving people into envy, drives people into unnecessary insecurity that is killing our people. So mental health becomes a problem. People are left into trauma, and these are things that can be taken care of. Our financial, when we get into, if people are educated very well, it does not only provide, I mean, it provides a liberation in the sense that we are not just, the passion is not just money, but, you know, the well-being, the security of the family, and all those things that make for peace of mind, which work against mental derailment. So in a way, financial literacy, financial understanding, financial education helps against mental illness. You know, it helps with the total being, and we are in for that.
Catherine gets composed, and my sister, you gotta be strong now. And I know you're very passionate about this. The campaign is going fine. The viewers are saying, "We are with you, Catherine. You're not alone." So I want to go to you, Kim, and I have listened to some of your presentations where we've had very, I think, based on your experience, some disappointing results. Sometimes you have people begin businesses with a clear plan, particularly a clear financial plan. They plan, and within a short time, the business goes south, and that can be very devastating for people. Even in families, sometimes the families are not very well prepared because we don't know how long we live. If God forbid, life comes to an end, and there's a family to leave behind, that can also bring about a lot of emotional as well as psychological disturbances. What are your views?
We're talking about lack of financial education, and when it comes to financial stress, definitely along the way, what Dr. Barry True was saying, it definitely creates a lot of distress, and then also pressure for the family, and lack of understanding, of course, because one of the three things that a family needs to be on the same page with money, especially marriage couple. So if the two of them is not on the same page, definitely creates challenge. And then also leading to many other factors such as separation, such as, of course, the worst is all divorce, and cases like Very True was mentioned that they even take their own life. So one thing is, if we have the knowledge, have the even the basic concept of financial education, understanding how to plan and prepare, because there was a saying that it's not, people don't plan to fail, which is nobody wants to, include all, especially immigrants. We don't set our feet into this country and plan that one day we're going to fail, but because fail to plan, fail to search for knowledge, for information, that's why at the end it leads to different situation. And in order to be able to avoid some of that challenge, we have to really be proactive in terms of searching for information, getting to the books, learning about building well, understand about financial concept, because we live in this country, a wealthy country, but if we have money problem, that's our own, challenge. Then we need to search. If there's class that you need to go and learn, you should, because that's to build foundation for the family. If there is any seminar, any place that is you can attend and learn and you become financial educated, we should be the one, because nobody care more about your family financial future than you are. You have young kids, you have business, you have family back home, you have family here, and definitely that's your responsibility to learn and really take care of that. And there's one more thing that's we always said in our campaign is be certain at at uncertain time, in uncertain time. So be certain in uncertain time. That's what one line we have in one of our educational book. And then just like during this pandemic, who would thought that one day, March of 2020, that the whole country literally shut down. And then if you have a business, especially if you direct contact with people, especially my business, my nail salon, for example, then of course we got to shut down completely. And then if you are a technician working that salon, you get shut down. You're a restaurant owner, you are waiter, waitress, or anything, the direct contact with people, you're going to shut down. 3 months staying at home. and praying that unemployment gonna be paying or whatever, some kind of help, a business loan and so on. But if you don't have some kind of knowledge to prepare, have some emergency fund, have some kind of savings, some set aside money and so on, this is challenging time, right? So have some knowledge, have some planning, and preparation always set you ahead of those who is not. And it is nothing wrong with really pick up a book to learn, attend some seminar, sit down with somebody, just basically for knowledge, for educational, not for any other reason, and for your family well benefits. And regardless who you are, you're just a regular person, work from 9 to 5, or you're a business owner, everybody need financial knowledge, right? So yes, that's what I think that as a business person or as individual immigrants here, regardless what country and what gender, where you at, financial knowledge, take care of your family, and prepare for those uncertain times is very important.
Insightful contributions, and as we prepare to talk about way forward here, Catherine, I want to bring you on one more time. And I know we're having this private conversation, and recently, of course, the team and the panelists and everybody joins you in feeling sorry for the loss of a loved one who recently passed on, in part because of financial distress that ended up not the end to the end of the marriage, but so sadly to the end of a life, and the children left on the planet without loved ones. Would you mind sharing your views there?
Thank you, Dr. Okari. Again, I just wonder, what are we really after? What are people? What are our brothers and sisters, immigrant brother and sister? What are we after in this great country? What are we seeking, if not good families, good life, and good happiness? I feel saddened that today it's come down to our brothers and sisters taking away their own lives because of money stress. We can say it over and over. Money problems need to be dealt with within the family circle because they create tremendous stress, depression, anxiety, fights, unnecessary fighting that is now claiming lives. I mean, the offspring that are left behind, what kind of life, what kind of future do we live for them? What is life? I just want to exhort our brothers and sisters just to listen, give a listening ear. It really saddens me when you invite someone to a platform of learning for their own benefit, and all they throw at you is, "I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I don't have time to attend your workshops, and I'm not interested." What is keeping you busy? Why are you busy? And I'm not talking about anyone in specific. Why are you busy? What is the end goal? Do you even have a goal while you're busy? Do you even know why you're busy? If you're busy to create wealth for yourself and your family, if you're busy to give yourself a good life, then should you seek opportunities, the means that will help you to get there? Because if you keep being busy, I love Swahili, they say kila siku, kila saa, every hour, every day, the same process. What results do you expect? You can't plant apples and expect to harvest oranges. It's never going to happen. And I want to hammer today that our people should stop being in denial and seek for positive ways to help their families, to build their families, even as they strive to build wealth. A negative way of building wealth is not helping our people. In short, we are losing people, and we can't continue to see that happen. My heart goes out to the children of my friend. I don't know how, what they did to deserve that. We need to learn to manage our issues positively. We need to learn, and it starts with understanding. Because if you don't have knowledge, what you don't know can cause you more. That is also a little line that we have in our campaign. Knowing less can cost you more. And so people need to learn. People need to learn. I lost a friend. Now I gathered a little courage. Yes, I lost my friend two weeks ago. Would I be happy to still have my friend here with us? Yes. What about the families left behind? What about the children? I think we need to become more serious, because we have become ingrained in this culture here. That is not even our culture. We have a culture that teaches us to be resilient, that teaches us to save life and not to take away life. What we do in our campaign, we help people not only with their health. I was mentioning a story earlier when we worked with this young person didn't even know that their health was in danger. But because the work of this campaign, because of the process of this campaign, they were able to realize things that were going on with their own body that they didn't know. But they spent time working day and night, thinking that they were okay, working round the clock. We need to open our eyes, and I pray God to really intervene for our people. Otherwise, I am really, I don't want to say scared, but this is not the first time. I lost a niece in this country, and again, goes back to the same issues: money, stress in the family caused by money, anxiety, fights. Somebody you have devoted your life to, all of a sudden becomes the enemy in your bed, and you start punching each other to the point of losing lives. We need to speak louder, and I really appreciate this opportunity to start this conversation, Dr. Okari. May God bless you with all the work for all the work that you do, and worldwide. This is not only for our people here in the U.S. This is also for our people even in Africa. It's almost on a daily basis that I receive a call for prayer from a young friend, from a young woman. I don't know what to do, but we need to do something. We need to do something, and because I believe these problems originate from money issues, lack of money. Lack of money is impacting our families in ways that we probably did not experience before, and so they need to be addressed, and it starts with education. And I will continue to educate people, even those who don't want to listen, because it is for good. It is for the common good. Thank you.
So I want to say, Catherine, I'm so proud of you. You've been able to compose yourself, put the emotions aside, and you've articulated those points very well. I'm so proud of you. And I'm sure the panels are shaking their hands because they believe in what you're doing. And obviously, we'll continue with the campaign. So, Steve, as you get ready to make the final closing statements, and Catherine, as you get composed, I want to come to you again, Kim. I think for the viewers, if you look at the two, you see the parts there. It's all about campaigning. It's about education, which reminds me of one of my most respected professors once told me. He told me, if you think education is expensive, then try ignorance. Kim, where do we go from here? What's your advice for our brothers and sisters, immigrants here? How do we move forward towards the financial independence? Unmute.
Thank you, Dr. Okari, again for the question relating to financial education. Well, personally, myself, I start from attend some of the seminar, pick up some book that people recommend, and later on get myself involved more. And again, like I mentioned earlier, nobody care about your financial future than you are, right? And especially for your family too. So it starts with you. You need to reach out to people. If somebody come across your way and mention to you there is a place that you need to get involved, a workshop that you need to attend, there's a book you should read, there is a conversation you should listen, then listen, because it's all come from good intention, and it's nothing wrong or it's nothing hurt to have more knowledge about finance, have to be educated about finance, and you can reach out to Catherine, Dr. O'Carey, Dr. Barry, Barry Shu to find out about more. There's what are the workshops, what are the things that we offer. There is class that we offer that anybody from different part of the country can log in online and learn and get themselves educated. It costs them nothing, zero, except they just need to take the time. Still can be able to be with the family and learn the knowledge. And then we even have different language as well too. And eventually, again, get yourself involved. You can either, I guess, email, however you're able to get involved. If you're watching from somewhere, just put the notes, or how can you be able to get some knowledge, get involved, get some free workshop, be able to attend the class. Then we definitely would love to direct you where it needs to be, and you make your own decision of do you want to learn or not, but at least start somewhere, because there's a saying that's a journey of 1,000 miles start with one step. If you don't step out the first step, how can you take the second step? Even, you walk 5 miles an hour, but you're still able to get to the destination. Or if you plant one tree at a time, eventually you get a whole forest. But if you sit still and not doing anything, life is about choices. Not making a decision, not moving forward is also a decision. And there's also a very popular saying that say, who you are today is also depends on the book that you read and the friends that you hang out with. Or maybe there's another saying that tell me your friends, or then I'll know who you are. Right? So would that be okay if you step out one first step and make sure surrounding yourself with knowledge, with education, especially when it comes to financial knowledge, and with the intention to better your family, better your future, and especially when you're financially strong, is also help you with the community, and even any organization and a church and a part of your life that you involve is also bring benefits instead of a burden. Because when it comes to money issue, then people have to go fund me, have to really contribute to your cost. To your issue. Then it's not good. You should be the one who contributes to the community and to yourself. Like I said at the beginning, at least that's my personal opinion. Right? So be a benefit, a resource instead of a burden, and start with learning. Pick up yourself and step out the first step. So
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to bring in, before we finish, Kim, as you prepare for your final statement, Steve, I'm going to bring you in. In the intro, I did introduce you as a man who's very determined not just to free people mentally, financially, but also spiritually. And I think that's important, especially for our audience that care more about spirituality than finance. Going forward, is spirituality a matter of fact that our audience should really pair alongside the financial independence?
Yeah, I think that is very important. I have been right from when I was 12 years old, I've been involved in preaching and Christian leadership at different levels. And I think that spiritually, that's also important. But then, it's important that we are connected. I think it is a very important thing. Our spiritual awareness, our understanding, our relationship, of course, with God is very, very important. And I think that is very important too, is for us to think about that. And then talking about, because if it is not, sometimes we may easily get derailed. We need to be spiritually strong also, so that we don't get easily derailed. And then finally, relating that to wealth, I read one sentence. I saw one sentence recently that struck me, and it was that the best way to help the poor is not to be poor yourself. So you may end up with, just imagine somebody needs money, and I spend 1 hour praying for the person. That would be a good thing. But if I can, take care of that person's need also and then pray with him, that would be double blessing. So that's why we want balance. You don't over spiritualize things and then leave out the care for your family. And also don't become so driven by money and things like that that you neglect your own spiritual upbringing. Yeah.
Well said. Very well said. So we are coming to the end of the show. It's a very fascinating show, quite frankly, I'll tell you. So in 1 minute, as we come to an end, Catherine, what's your closing statement?
Thank you again, Dr. Okari. My closing statement is that we are sending, what we are doing here tonight is sending a wake-up call to our immigrant communities. We're sensitizing them to create awareness of this, of what impact lack of money is having within our communities and within our families. The family is the essential, brick. It's a laying brick in the fabric of the society. And if the moment the family begins to fall apart, that gives you an idea of what kind of society we're setting the stage for. So I just want to encourage my community, my fellow community members, my African immigrants here in this country, that this land is a land of opportunity. But even as it is a land of opportunity, opportunity is not going to come, is not going to fall in your hands as in a golden platter. You have to make the decision, as my sister from another mother said. You have to go towards it. You have to look for it, and it starts with taking the decision to take the first step. We are not going to sit and watch our community members lose it. We are not going to lose kids. We're not going to lose community members. We're not going to just sit down and see families fall apart, because these issues are all around us. Nobody can deny them anymore. The stress is just too much. The depression, the anxiety. People are, heavily laden with the lifestyle in this country. People need to understand that when you come to this country, just because you can work multiple jobs, many jobs, just because there's so much opportunities, doesn't mean that you should lose sight of who you are. You should lose your identity. We have to remember where we come from. We have to remember who we are. And we have to remember that we are what we are because we are community members. So for those who are dealing with the situations that we have described here, there is help. There is hope. Seek help. If you are going through mental distress, reach out to community members. I know my family dealt with such struggles in our early years here, and I am happy to speak about it now, hoping that it will encourage someone. My family experienced serious stress, and as I shared earlier, we were just blessed. I feel like we were lucky to make it through. We had serious money issues. We believe we had serious issues with money. We had a lot of credit card debt. We suffered just like everyone else. And one thing that we don't seem to realize is that when you come here, you start at a deficit, like Uncle Steve rightly said. You start life at the deficit. So stop fooling yourself. You have to work extra hard to catch up with other communities around. You have to work extra hard. Don't overdo it to yourself. Take it easy. Live a comfortable, normal life, and you'll be fine. Stop chasing those those big cars. And I'm not jealous about anybody, but stop piling those things, because I have heard stories of people who are just under the weight of debt and they don't know what to do, but they just can't speak about it. They can't seek help about it for it. So stop doing that to yourself. Yes, and just live a normal life. You can live in a little comfortable home without necessarily going for those big homes where you don't even spend time there because you're busy working shift after shift. These things must be said. Yes, and I hope people are listening and are being sensitized to become aware of these issues, so that together as a community we can face them and we can tackle them. Thank you.
In 1 minute, your closing statement.
Well, what I want to also say is that I realize that a lot of people have had challenges, in the sense that when they hear things like this, they relate to what they've heard before. Some people have been deceived. Some people have got in wrong hands. And because of mistakes like that, because people got deceived in the past, they end up not wanting to even listen. They conclude that everything else is deceitful. Well, we want to encourage you that you can still find out the truth from what is false. So don't let what has happened before to block you from getting where you're supposed to be. Finally, let's let me not use the word. Let's do away with this word, P-O-O-R. P-O-O-R. You can call it poor, but it actually means, in this sense, passing over opportunities regularly. Let's not keep passing over opportunities that can help us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I didn't know that. Thank you very much. I've been educated. I'll take note of that going forward. So I reserved the last spot for Kim. I think, Kim, with all your experience, I'm sure our viewers would like you to make a closing statement.
All right. I guess I've been said enough in terms of searching for information, for resource, and really reach out to other people out there. If you come across information, value it and really get involved and learn about what is going to be benefit and help families. And the whole thing we are trying to do is also bring awareness and financial education to families, and also, looking for a better, community that with knowledge and, would able to prepare, plan for the future, especially when you have family and, for generation to come. We are not coming here to face the, financial challenge. We also not coming here to work and pay bills. We are here to make a difference. And that difference is going to have to start from your own family and from yourself first. And it's going out to your next generation. There was a saying, I believe that was Bill Gates saying something about, if you born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you retire poor or you die poor, that is your mistake. Something along that line. So basically, we have no choice of what family we're born into, but we're given this opportunity, this beautiful life, to be in this country. We should take advantage of that and search for a better, build better family, community, and, live in peace. Because again, when money is not an issue, less stress and more happy. and you also be able to impact other people when you're not worried about how am I going to pay bills tomorrow, how am I going to really maintain my families, and not answer all those debt collector phones. You have a peace of mind, and you're able to help more to the community and to others as well. So that's what I have, and I wish everybody a pretty happy right time watching. And also again, we are here to provide education and knowledge, and don't feel hesitate to reach out to us. However, the way I believe there is Facebook Live, you can comment on there. There is YouTube, Twitters, and also all the channels, and we are happy to spend a good time with you just to bring some discussion. And again, this is about the discussion, by no mean of any solicitation, but it's all about bringing awareness and education to families. All right.
You did exactly what obviously was expected. Thank you. So I think with that we come into the end of the show tonight. So first off, I want to end by first thanking the panelists. I'm sure our viewers have enjoyed that insightful contributions. First up, I want to thank you, Steve. Wonderful contribution. I think we would love to have you back again to make further conversation, whether on this subject or another subject. So thank you very kindly for your insightful contributions. As well, I want to thank my sister, Catherine. Your emotional aspect, that's very telling. I teach emotional intelligence as well. That brings a connection with our people so that they understand what we go through here. I appreciate your contribution, and I'm sure our crew as well do so. And then also, Akim, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you. I'm one of your biggest admirers. You do excellent work, and I think your team in the offices, I think from the top, everybody in that office, I want you to extend our appreciation from here, KDL TV, that you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we look forward to having you on a more regular basis so that we can go into more specific issues that affect our people. On the same note, I also want to thank from behind the scenes, I want to thank our crew on KDL TV. Ben Gutokebato is running the show from behind the scenes. You may not be seeing him as much, but I want you to know that he's running the show from a distance. We're all scattered across the cities. But I want to thank you very kindly for all you're doing, and your team and your commitment to make sure that we are able to drive the diaspora agenda. As well, I want to thank you, the viewers. I think without you, it would be needless to be here. When I try to, as much as we are talking about this, again, we're taking advantage of the moment. The COVID-19, the George Floyd, and the many not so impressive happenings that are happening across the country. We don't want to look at it from a pessimistic standpoint. We want to be optimistic. Let's lift our spirits. Let's pull together. As you've seen from the panelists, we have voices from Vietnam, the Southeastern Asia. We have voices from the Sub-Saharan African region, from Cameroon. We've had insightful contribution from Nigeria, and we're looking forward to having contributors from all around the world. In as long as we're able to, together as a people, as immigrants, that we should be able to drive a diaspora agenda on many factors that affect us. We should and must not lay down there. We must come from all perspectives, particularly those in the community who have any knowledge that you think would be valuable. KDL TV is providing a platform from which we can have and engage in a more constructive discussion that will not only help us in the meantime, but will build a generation to come. Again, from us here, no much than that. We want to thank you very, very much again. We welcome you for another show again on Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time, when we discuss another very interesting topic, mental health. This time we're having three fantastic female who are going to look at this perspective from a female perspective. And then a week later, we have the men coming in for the session. Again, from here on KDL TV, thank you so much for being on, and have a good night. We'll see you again next week when we have the same panelists come on.